All right, can everyone hear me okay? Nice. All right, so thank you for being here and welcome to the Study Abroad South Korea info session. This program is a summer 2025 program. My name is Andres Montaño. I'm the Study Abroad Coordinator at Green River College, and I'm also the team lead for this program. And I'm here joined by some of our colleagues from our consortium. So Andy and Jackie, if you want to introduce yourselves.
Hi there, my name is Jackie Cordeff. I'm an international ed advisor at Pierce College, and I'm also the study abroad coordinator at Pierce. Nice to see you all.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Andy, she, her, hers, at Lower Columbia College, based in Southwest Washington. I'm the Director of International Programs, but for this purpose, I am the WICSA Campus Coordinator. Excited to be on this South Korea team.
Thank you, Andy and Jackie. I'm also joined by some of my colleagues at Green River College, Kim and Paul. They have lived in South Korea and they have a lot of experience that they can share with us. So if you want to introduce yourself as well, real quick.
Sure. My name is Paul Guerra Sanchez, and I'm the Director of International Education here at Green River College. And campus, I carry a lot of hats, and one of them is I'm the Director for Study Abroad. So Andres and I work together collaboratively. I know the crew and the president and coordinators from Sogang University because I lived in South Korea for like 11 years. As a lecturer there, and yeah, so I know them quite well. Once that I knew they had a great program going on this, after COVID, I jumped on it to make this program happen. And yeah, from a small number, it's grown, and now it's a WICSA program. So thank you. And let's introduce Kim, who is our intensive English program manager.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kim Zenker. I am here to answer any questions about Korean culture or transportation, the city, and everything, food. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. I am born Korean, born and raised. So I know quite a lot about Korea, and then I used to live nearby in the neighborhood. Yeah, so good to see you.
Thank you, thank you. I'm not sure if we're joined by some of the staff members in WICSA colleges. If we are not, no. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna quickly stop sharing and then sharing again because I realize I need to share my sound as well. I have a little video that I want to show a little later. So there you go. All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So as you know, Paul mentioned, now this is a WICSA program. WICSA means Washington State Community College Consortium for Study Abroad. So basically, it is a partnership that we have with 19 community colleges in Washington State, which allows us to, provide our students and the students belonging to these institutions a lot of opportunities to study abroad. So we share resources, we share programs, we collaboratively, work and to offer that for you all. And yeah, it makes a good experience for the students and also for the amount of programs that we're able to offer each quarter. So I wanted to quickly mention that. All right, so South Korea. So this is a program that happens between June 26 and July 24, 2025. It's a 4-week program over the summer, as I mentioned, and our partners are Sogan University, which is a very prestigious university located in Seoul, in the heart of Seoul, and it's really known, it's internationally recognized for their strong academics. Particularly, they have a lot of like business, humanities, and social science majors, and they are very much international. They have partnerships all around the world. They receive students from different parts of the world, Europe, South America, North America, other parts of the US. And yeah, they have a really vibrant, really cool campus that you can see right here in the picture. And they offer a lot of opportunities for students to go to, join cultural activities, student clubs, and that is part of this program as well. Like I said, it's conveniently located. This is like a downtown area of Seoul, and around the neighborhood, you'll find a lot of students because there are other universities that are located in the area. So, and there's also a lot of shops and restaurants and, spots to hang out, and it's conveniently located very close to transit stations, so you can get around the city a lot. I'm going to show you a video from the program that they had last year, so you get an idea what this program is all about. Let me know if you hear the sound.
Australia. My Korean teacher, she's actually an alumni of Sogang University, so she was recommending the program to us. And I really wanted to go to South Korea for a long time. So going on a study tour or like a study program, I thought would be a good way to introduce myself to the country.
Please eat at home and enjoy your stay at Sogang University. Thank you very much.
About the speaking portion of the test more than the writing portion, but the teacher who interviewed me was really nice, and I got to talk to her about our favorite K-pop group in Hyphen, so we got to bond together through that. What I'm looking forward to right now is just meeting students. I met some students downstairs, so I'm really excited for that.
So going to DMZ kind of re-solidified some of the stories he told me growing up. It was nice to go and just see, where we could go and just feel the immense pressure of how it was fought and how well Koreans served and got to a point where we could have the Korea today.
I feel like it was quite a meaningful experience because I'm taking a culture unit, and in one of those units I get to learn a bit about Korean history, so it was good to be able to apply that knowledge to when I actually went there. And we also went to the War Memorial as well, which was really culturally significant. I was reading about all the stories, and I think it's not something that I've really learnt as much in my degree, so I feel like it's been really impactful and I've learnt a lot from that. I'm just trying to figure out how to be myself right now. I don't want to lay low, hiding in the shadows. So I wake up, I get out of bed and stay up. Stay out of my head, it's dangerous.
wanna lose my mind, no. I just wanna shine like the sun when it comes up. Rock the city from the rooftops, 'cause today's gonna be my day. I just wanna climb to the top of a mountain, stand tall when I'm howling, 'cause today's gonna be my day.
All right, I'm gonna stop the video here. We're gonna put the link in the chat if you're interested to see the rest of the video. It's a little long, so that's why we're doing that. But yeah, it's really fun, just based on the video. This program is very particular. You probably saw it because a lot of students from all over the world apply. So last year, they had like more than 60 students participate, and you saw some students from Australia, from all over Europe, from other states in the US. So it definitely gives you the opportunity to, meet other students from different cultures and, make friends all over the world. So it's really interesting. And especially also you have like local students that will gonna help you navigate, this program, and that's also part of the richness of this program. So yeah. All right, so this is a study abroad program, so academics is a fundamental part of the offer here. So as I mentioned, it's a 4-week program, and during that period, you have the opportunity to take either 1 or 2 classes. It's your choice. Those are 5 to 10 credits if you're talking about our language, the Citizen System language. And then you have the opportunity to take Korean language, as you saw in the video when they do the test, and other classes that fall under sociology, history, humanities, and business classes. This is important. There's a big asterisk here in this list to mention that these classes right here that you see in the screen are only the classes that are approved in the past for Green River College. And that doesn't mean that in your campus is gonna be the same, right? So I've added in this slide a QR code with the full list of the classes that they can take, you can take. And my advice to you is, depending of which college you attend, my advice is to pick 2 or 3 classes that you'll be interested on taking for this particular program, and then contact your study abroad coordinator at your campus and work with them to see which of those classes they can be approved into your home campus. So that's my advice to you. So again, I have to mention it. These are the classes that are approved by Green River College, but it may be different in your case at your home college. So that's something important to note. Another important thing to note is that if you're taking the Korean language class, you must enroll through Pierce College. And why is that? Because Pierce College is the only institution within our consortium that offers that class. So of course, we want you to get the credit for all the classes. So if you're interested in taking that Korean language, you must dual enroll through Pierce. It's called dual enrollment or concurrent enrollment for the summer. And then our colleague here, Jackie, she is from Pierce, so we'll help you navigate that during the process of application. I don't know who's doing this lines in here, but anyways, if you have questions about the classes, we can go over them at the end, but thank you. Let's continue. So this is a typical schedule for the program. It sort of depends, again, if you take 1 or 2 classes during this program. So the way they do it is that from Monday through Thursdays, they have all the classes and all the club and buddy activities. So again, if you take just one class, you might be placed in the morning class block from 10 to 1 p.m. They do have 3-hour daily academic blocks, but they have like breaks in between. So that's important to know. So the club activities, we're going to talk a little bit later about this, what options there are in this program, but they are usually Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 to 6 p.m. And then you can take different options. These are optional, but we encourage you to do them. So you can take like dance classes, K-pop dance classes, and taekwondo, and many other activities they have for you. So we encourage you to do it. And also buddy activities that we're going to talk a little bit later. There are Mondays and Wednesdays at 5 to 6 p.m. And then on Fridays, there are field trip days, which, yeah, we're going to show you where Sogan is going to take you. But you saw it in the video, like some of the highlights, like DMC and some of the places that Sewell Tower and some of the other places that it'll take you for you to experience the local culture. And then on the weekends is a free time for you to explore the city by yourself. And also there are some activities that are planned for the weekends that are also optional by Sogan, but I mean, it's up to you whether you want to take them or not. We highly encourage you to do it. I'm going to stop my screen for a second because I don't know why those lines were in the I'm going to reshare it again. All right, there you go. All right, so this is related to your classes. So sort of this is what you can expect from your weekly schedule. So field trips on Fridays and fun things to do like over the weekends, and then very intensively take your classes during the morning or the afternoon, depending if you take 1 or 2 classes from Monday through Thursday. All right, so I'm gonna turn it over to my colleague here.
Hi there. I'll be talking a little bit about the housing that will be offered during this program. So the housing will be in dormitories that are actually on campus. It's this building over here, right behind Andre's head, the taller building. Yeah. And you would have one roommate, which is pretty standard for any type of a college experience or study tour. But one element that is definitely a highlight is you would have private bathrooms, and the building is very modern. There is AC, and in the lower plaza level here, you'll see that there are several different restaurants and little stores that you could go nearby. So many food options. And it is an option as well if you do happen to have family nearby in Seoul. You could have the option to stay with family instead. So this is not required. However, the housing is included in the program fee. So that's definitely incentive to go with this option. Anyone want to add any details about the housing before I move on?
Yeah, I'll add a little bit as
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. So you all will be staying at Gonzaga Hall, which is, although actually I think it's right behind actually where this building is. I think it's like right this side of it. Anyhow, the rooms are nice. They're quite modern. One of the great qualities about Gonzaga Hall is the fact that the back gate is there, which they call that the Humun area. And that's usually where the back gate of every university is where they have the university restaurants that cater towards the students. So food would be, I mean, the food on the campus is actually really good. I ate there a couple times. But if you go in the back gate, that's where they have like more of the, you know, the traditional mom and pop food that you would eat at home and is very affordable. So like a kimchi jjigae soup with rice and side dishes and like a barley tea that comes free would be about, I don't know, $6 at the most, roughly. So many options, various coffee shops, a lot of chicken restaurants all over the place. Fried chicken is a big thing. We call it chimek, chicken and beer. It's a big thing there. In addition to like the kimbap nara places where you can get kimbap, sundubu, all kinds of Korean food at a very, very affordable price. So the accommodations are nice. They have little closets, they have bathrooms. Down below, there is a shared gym. In addition to the laundry. The laundry is separated by gender. I mean, it's in the same area, but this side is for the women's and this is for the men's, just so that, you know, clothes is not being mixed up or anything like that. Other than that, I think Jackie had gone over everything with anything related to housing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, continuing, as Andres mentioned, we have multiple field trips that are offered, included as part of the study tour. And these would happen on Fridays. And these are separated by week. So week 1 would be Incheon Open Port and Chinatown. And Andre, if you want to stop sharing, I have the screen up where it has the little bit more detailed description, if possible.
Yep.
Thank you. Okay. So these are the different options here, or what is included. So week 1, this is Incheon. This is about 30 minutes if you drive and about an hour if you were to take a bus away. So that's during the first Friday. So that offers a lot of food, shops, historical sites. And during that weekend, you also would go to Wolmido Island. And this is sort of an amusement park. They have a Ferris wheel. There's also a really nice cultural center and a park there. So that would be the first week. And I noticed it lists the price in won, but that is included as well. Okay, then the second week, the focus would be Everland Amusement Park. And that's also about 30 minutes away from the program. And that has more roller coaster rides, and you would also be going to the zoo. So that's during the second weekend. Sorry, the Friday. The third Friday, this is focused on primarily the DMZ zone, so the demilitarized zone. And as you saw in the video, this has a lot of historical significance, and you would be able to look at different cultural offerings about this and learn historical facts, and also going to the Korean Workers' Party headquarters. And lastly, during the fourth Friday, you would be going to Gangwon-do, and this is where you would go to a market. And a long time ago, I taught in Korea for 1 year, and even hearing the descriptions of the food and the street food from Paul and Kim, I can still remember, you know, certain things, and the food is amazing there. So definitely take advantage and explore, try a bunch of traditional offerings there. And you would also be going to Sukcho Expo. So that has a lot of exhibitions, performances, probably traditional dance and things like that, and attractions. So those are what you would be doing on Fridays. And can everyone see my screen now for the buddy program? Okay, perfect. So this is another great offering. through the study tour. And the buddy program, this is a way where you, as students visiting Korea, would be working with students who live in Korea and basically just learning more about the culture from them. And these are some of the benefits of that program. Helping to make connections and friends, help around the campus, being in a new place, in a new country. It's really nice to have that extra support. Participation in summer program courses and events. So they may be going on certain events as well, and just giving advice about Korean culture. So for the buddy program, this one is optional, and this would be offered bi-weekly, so probably every other week or just around there, and this would be with local Korean students. Again, this is optional, and there also are some club offerings through the university that you could learn about as well. Thank you. Would anyone like to add about the buddy programs or the field trips?
Let's see, I'll add about the buddy program. Now, the buddy programs it's a really great service that Sogang offers. A lot of the times the buddies that you will have will, there'll be a few international students with you. I'm sorry, a few students and the buddy, the Korean student. A lot of times they will take you to they'll go to Itaewon, or they'll take you to Hongdae to go out for dinner, maybe some cafes, so that you get to know and have a feel of the environment, in addition to having a local friend where you can communicate. You can practice your Korean with them. They would love to practice their English with you. And honestly, it's a great service that Sogang provides this, because again, it does make all the students that study abroad feel a little bit more comfortable, that they have someone kind of designated for them to be able to, inquire, provide information if they needed to get, I don't know, maybe they're having a stomach ache or something like that, to go to a clinic, or recommendations of places to go, things to do, things to not miss. So it's a great program. And with regards to the excursions have been tried out. They've been, tested on students before. I've gone on all these excursions as well. Just since I lived there, I was very curious about what to do, where can we go? And yeah, I've been on probably almost all of these excursions. So I can say they're all top notch. And you all will gain a lot of cultural knowledge, cultural experience, and in reality, you'll have a fantastic time and get credit at the same time. So take advantage of this fantastic opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you seeing my screen? I'm gonna take us a yes. All right. So turning it over to Andy, I believe.
Yes. So everyone, we've heard so many good things already from Andres, from Jackie, and from Paul about the exciting opportunity that you have. Some of you already asking, what's the cost? There are three components when you think about the total cost. There's the program fee. Part one is the program fee that you pay directly to Sogang University. The second component or second cost is your tuition that you pay to your home college here in Washington State. And then the third cost is going to be some additional expenses, out-of-pocket expenses. Now, before I give details for each of these, I want to preface the figures that we're sharing with you are estimates based on the current conversion from the US dollar to the Korean won. That might change a little bit between now and when you make your final payment in early June. But I want to assure you, we've done our best to give you the most accurate estimates available. You've heard from the team so far, this program has run a few times before. And I will plug that on our website, we actually provide you a budget worksheet that has each of these items broken down. So as you're financially planning for yourself, you can always revisit this anytime. But let's talk back about that first cost, that first component, the program fee. So the program fee to Sogang University includes all the good things that you've heard so far. Your on-campus housing in the dorms, that buddy program, all those exciting field trips, that's all included in the program fee. The program fee and your home tuition will vary based if you take one class or you take two classes. So to verbalize those numbers out loud, your program fee could be about $2,100 for one class, or your program fee could be about $2,600 for two classes. Now, that second cost of your home tuition, you pay that directly to your home college. And so that will be in US dollars. Part of the beauty and the benefit of choosing a WICSA program allows you to do this, to pay your tuition at your home college. All of your existing financial aid or scholarship funding pathways, that stays the same. The only exception is if you are taking the Korean language class at Pierce College and you're not currently a Pierce College student, with which we would work with Jackie and your campus coordinator to do the concurrent enrollment process. For transparency, we also want to let you know that there is a small WICSA administrative fee. That fee allows us to build this partnership that you've heard Paul describe with Sogang University to give you all these great access, a discount on the program fee, as well as to offer summer scholarships to anyone who applies to a summer WICSA program. Now that program, that admin fee, that's not a separate thing you pay. It's folded into that Sogang University program fee. So now let's talk more about that third bucket, those additional expenses on the next slide here. So these are things that are not included in your program fee. Those include airfare. Now, when you choose to book your airfare, the time of day, what airline you use, that will influence the cost, but the estimate is about $1,350. You should also plan to have some pocket money for your meals. I think all of us were a bit salivating of the description of the delicious Korean food out at that back gate. So you want to make sure you have some funds to enjoy all that good bibimbap or barley tea, things of that nature. Sogang University also requires that you have medical insurance, just in case any emergency happens that you're covered while you're in country. We will give you a timeline on when you need to show proof that you've purchased that medical insurance. We average it'll be about $80 out of pocket. Additionally, you might consider getting an in-country mobile phone or a SIM card. You might find it advantageous to have a local Korean phone number to get reward points for all your cafe visits or your Kakao Talk you want to get in the local phone number. There are many options available, but you could anticipate about $65. So this is, again, the three components of the cost that you can think about for the expense of this program, the investment that you'll gain in this incredible experience. Next, let's talk about eligibility and beginning the admissions process. So this program is eligible for all student types. So if you're currently enrolled at a Washington State Community College, it doesn't matter if you're full-time, part-time, Running Start, international, you are all welcome if you meet the following criteria. 1, if you're 17 years or older by June 26, 2025, so if you're a 16-year-old Running Start student, but you'll turn 17 before you depart, great, we'll be excited to have you. There's also an eligibility requirement of having some pre-college experience. So there's a 12 college level requirement in advance. That could either be done at your current home institution, maybe you took some courses a little while ago, or you transferred high school AP credits. However, it looks like if you have 12 college level credits, you're ready to apply. Of those 12 college level credits, you have to have a 2.5 cumulative GPA or above. So if that all sounds like you, then we're going to move to how to apply. So to apply, it's completely online. You'll submit an application directly to WICSA. Again, as a reminder, WICSA is the Washington State Community College Consortium for Study Abroad. So you simply go to wixa.com/apply and you start your online application. In the application, you'll fill out things like your name, your current college, and you'll respond to a brief essay. You're going to answer questions of why do you want to go to this program? How will you be successful? What do you hope to learn? It allows the admissions committee to learn a little bit more about you and how you'll be successful. In the online application, there's going to be space for you to put contact information for 2 references. Now, at least one of these references should be an academic reference. It could be a current faculty member, a teacher. For those of you who maybe recently finished high school, it can be a high school teacher, but it needs to be someone who can speak to your academic readiness to take on college level courses in another country. Your second reference can also be academic. It's okay to have 2 faculty members, but we also allow you to choose if you, say, have an employer or a mentor, someone who knows you on a more professional level and again can speak to your readiness to be a bit independent in another country. You cannot use any personal references, so no family members, unfortunately. We know maybe one of your parents might be your biggest cheerleaders. They're going to be a little biased, so that's why we ask for an academic or professional reference. A comment here about the reference process. When you're going to speak to those folks who you want to put in the system, let them know it's not a formal letter that they need to write. They will receive a form. So you type in professor at professorcollege.edu. They're going to receive a form to say, yes, I know this student. This is why they'll be amazing for the South Korea program. In your online application, you'll be asked to upload an unofficial transcript. Now, beauty of us all being a part of the CTC Link system, you can go into CTC Link, download an unofficial transcript, and upload it into your WICSA application. So that's step 1. Once you've submitted your WICSA application, you will receive an email from your campus coordinator. So for Lower Columbia College, that's me. For Pierce, that's Jackie, and so forth. And that individual will be inviting you to an interview. So you'll go through a brief interview process, again, to learn more about you and your readiness to take on this program. After that interview, you'll receive further communication to confirm that, yes, you've been admitted into the South Korea Summer 2025 program. Which leads us to our next slide, is how then do you enroll? From the time you're admitted into the program to before you depart for South Korea, there are several action steps, several to-dos to help you be ready. Don't worry, we'll help make sure that you know all of the steps and the timelines you need to complete them. But I want to preview them to you now. The first during this period is you're going to apply directly to Sogang University. This helps generate your student account and access to the dormitories, things like that. Then you'll get a follow-up about paying the Sogang University program fee that we talked about earlier. That communication might tell you to pay within 2 weeks, but we affirm that the official payment deadline is June 2nd. So again, as you're thinking about your financial planning, be ready to pay that program fee by June 2nd. During this time, you'll also be working with your campus study abroad coordinator or advisor to register for those classes. As Andres mentioned earlier, Sogang University will offer a lot of classes, but you need to check with your home campus about which classes you can take for credit. And then lastly, it's to pay that program fee, as we mentioned earlier. But another date I want to mention to you now is May 10th. May 10th is the WICSA pre-departure orientation. That orientation will be held in person at the Green River College campus in Auburn, Washington. It is our preference and recommendation that you come in person. We know that not all of us are based in that greater area, so you might need to be traveling to the West Coast or at West Side or up north or down south to attend. It's worth it if you can make a day out of it to meet your fellow peers that are going to be going with you and start to build some of those relationships. We understand circumstances prevent not everyone's able to travel on that day. If that's you, let us know and we'll help connect you with a hybrid or a virtual portion of that orientation. But we want that date to be on your calendar now. So in case you're someone who's going to wait until end of April to submit your WICSA application, you already know that that May 10th pre-departure deadline is going to be there. So those, I believe, are the main components about the enrollment process. But again, we will help communicate to you every step of the way of what you need to do next. So it's your responsibility to keep an eye on your email, be in communication with your campus coordinator to make sure you're ready for what's next. I'll pass the mic back to Andres.
Thank you, Andy, for that wonderful presentation. Yes, just a quick note about this steps under your application. I know it seems like a lot, but don't worry, we'll be with you every step of the way. And also, after you get your preliminary acceptance, you'll get a very thorough checklist with dates that you need to, keep in mind in your application process, and all the steps that, has been mentioned by Andy. Some other requirements, so you are prepared for SOGAN in the application process, is as a TB test. So they're gonna require a form to be filled out by your medical clinic or your doctor regarding this test. That is a requirement that they have for every international student that comes to their campus. So that's sort of like additional information that you will find in that checklist that we will send you after you've been preliminary accepted. We mentioned that before. There'll be some suggestions and some deadlines for you to provide a medical insurance card and send proof of that evidence to our office, and also proof that you bought your tickets at a certain date as well, because we've got to make sure that you have that going on before your departure. And if you are not a US citizen, there's also information of how to apply to a visa. For US citizens, they don't require a visa, but as mentioned by Andy, we accept every type of student, including internationals or maybe American permanent residents that have a different nationality. So you may want to check that as well, and it's in the checklist that we will send to how to apply for that. So I think that's it for the presentation. So I'm gonna turn it over to a room here. If anyone has questions, we are more than happy to answer. Or, if you want to mention Kim or Paul, like about Korean culture, or, tips to navigate life at Seoul or things like that, they're welcome. So. And I notice you have been putting some questions in the chat, so I'm happy to go over those questions as well. Feel free to, unmute yourself or put it in the chat, however you prefer. All right, so there is one question here that said, like, are the dates set? Yes, there are. And yeah, there was a change in slight change in dates, but that was for last year's program. The current dates are June 26th to July 24th. It may change in the future. We don't know. That sort of depends on SOGAN at this point, but those are the official listed dates. Let's see. Is statistics a class option? I know there is a microeconomics class listed there, not statistics. That was before, like in previous versions of this program.
Yeah, I believe last year they offered statistics.
They offer statistics. They are constantly updating the list. Even like I received an email earlier this week where they said that they're still adding more classes to the program. So I'm just gonna put in the chat the classes, the list of classes that you could potentially be getting credit for. So bear with me. Here they are. I'm going back to the, there you go. All right. Let's see. If we can make it until July 1st, could I still be part of the program? That's a question that I'm gonna need follow-up with Sogan, because since it's a really packed program, a very intensive program, academically speaking, every class matters. So in order for you to get credit, you need to achieve certain amount of hours. So if you are only able to go starting July 1st, that could complicate that process. So why don't you, Kirsten, you send me an email. I can share my email in a second, and then we can go over that particular situation. Does the flights for the cost for round trip? The estimated cost for flights that we put in the slides is yeah, it's a round trip flight, so it is. It's actually a conservative amount that we put in there, but the students are tech savvy. They find like deals online, so it could be way less than that for sure. It is summer, so the prices tend to be higher, but yeah, I mean there are different options that you can explore. And I know from Seattle, Paul, you have traveled a lot. Like there's a lot of options in Korean Air and other
Yeah, you could
airlines,
do, I believe Delta's flying out that way. You got Korean Air, you have Asiana. Hawaiian Air also goes as well. You would have to fly from here, go to Hawaii, then from there, change planes and obviously get there. But yeah, there's quite a few options.
right? All right. Any other questions or comments? I know some students in the past have asked questions about like cultural rules, about like, how to navigate life at Seoul or South Korea. There are no particular, things that you have to keep in mind or rules, but it is important you understand that the culture, the local culture, things like, dress, they usually dress more conservatively than we do, especially during the summer and during those months that are very hot. So you want to keep that in mind. You don't want to be the only one in shorts and a t-shirt and the rest of the students and the rest of the locals are not, right? So just keep that in mind. There's no specific rule about it, but that's something to consider. Things like public displays of affection, you will not see that in Korea at all. So that's sort of other things that you need to keep in mind. Of course, be respectful of the local rules, the respect to the elders. That's something that goes without saying. And yeah, I don't know, Kim, if you want, do you have a comment about that or?
I think you pretty much covered everything. Just
Yeah.
like anywhere else, respect to elderlies and yeah, just good behavior, good manners would go a long way.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, I told during that time it's gonna be very humid. So yes, and it's gonna be warmer than our summers here at Washington State. So you gotta keep that in mind in the way you dress and the way you navigate that as well. Um, Let's see, we have some more questions in the chat. Are there scholarships? Yes, as Andy mentioned, there are some partial scholarships that we offer through the consortium that are small, but during your application through WIXA, those scholarships are based on your essay that you are required to do as part of the application process. So in the online form, you'll have a box that you can tick yes or no, whether you want to be considered for those scholarships. And if you click yes, we'll base it on your application and your essay. So yes. And also you can contact your international programs department. They may have some scholarships available for you at your campus. Specifically for Green River, we do have one in our international programs department that is a partial scholarship as well. There are questions in the chat about apps for transportation that will be great to download to navigate in Korea. So Kakao Talk app. Oh, nice.
Me. That's for me.
Nice. You want to explain how that
Yeah,
works?
yeah. So I would say do it now. Maybe make even a Kakao group chat would be great. So Kakao is like WhatsApp. You can send messages, phone calls, video. But one of the best things that it has is the fact that it has the function to also request a taxi, like Uber. So you could do that. And also, if you're wanting to navigate around town and such, you could also use the Kakao Maps. And also another app that I probably would use or utilize while you're there is because Google Maps, it can work there, but it's ridiculously confusing. So I would say Kakao Maps. Oh, I see Kim just put that there. And also Naver Maps. Will give you live step-by-step instructions of how to get it there, and also it's in English. Download. So. Trying to think of other apps. Do you have any other suggestions, Kim, with regarding apps? I mean, for some of these students, a lot of people have Coupang or Gmarket to order things, but I'm thinking these students might not need that. Can you think of any other apps? Maybe like the T Money app or something like that?
Sure. There's a app for transportation, public transportation cards that you can auto load on your phone and then just scan it at the reader inside the bus or at the gate of the subway station. Let me find that link for you. And also you can use Uber nowadays. That's available in Korea as well.
So is the T-Money card like also like an app, or is it just a loadable card that
Oh,
you
it's a
use?
card. You could get that like
Okay.
at GS25, like the 7-Elevens or the Family Marts. You can go in there and say, I want to buy a T-Money card. They give you the card, you throw the money on it, and then you can use that for buses, taxis, and the subways. But if you don't want to physically be going into the store to keep uploading it, you can just get that app. Makes it easy.
Excellent.
Oh, and Kim just put in the link for it. Fantastic.
All right, so we have 2 minutes left for this info session. I want to thank everyone for attending and for participating and engaging into the conversation and into the info session. If you have like one last question, we have 1 minute for it. So I'm just gonna wait for it. If not, thank you so much for being here. And I'm gonna share my contact information here if you have more questions that you want to go over later. And I encourage my team also to do so. So you know who to contact for questions related to Korea, to application process, to life in Seoul, etc. Thank you, everyone. One last note, this is recorded and it's gonna be available in the WIXA site for South Korea as a WIXA program, South Korea, and also available in our Green River website. So if you wanna go over some of the discussions we had or um, the information that we provided, it's gonna be right there. So thank you so much.